Hi everyone, welcome to Karl Woodcraft. Got a nice little fun project today. So I've made this little doggy feeding station for my little friend Rupert, and he's a very small dog, so we've got these little feeding trays here. It's made out of pine with some oak on the front here with this name plaque. It's made with pocket hole joinery, and yeah, that's about it really. It's a real nice little simple project. Took me about an hour 45 to do with some scrap wood, and it came out really nice, so I'm happy with it. I'll present this to Rupert at the weekend when I go over to my sister's for a barbecue. So let's get straight into the build then. The first thing you need to do is make sure that your feeding bowls are spaced evenly, and I do this using a combination square. I'll then draw around the balls using a pencil. Using a ruler, I measure in approximately 5mm and I make a mark with a pencil. I then join these marks together using a compass, making a secondary circle. The secondary circle is where we're going to cut out with a jigsaw later on in the build. In order to cut out the circles with a jigsaw, I first need to drill a 10mm pilot hole. I then can get the jigsaw blade into this hole and cut out the remainder of the circles. For the frame of the feeding station, I searched around for some timber in the wood store. I've got plenty of offcuts. So I found some old worldy pine and some PSE pine, plain square edge pine. I ripped these down on the table saw and then chopped them to length on the miter saw. I placed the legs where I need them on the feeding station, and I used the combination square to get a consistent measurement. I then take referential measurements for the remainder of the components, and then I take them over to the miter saw to cut them to the final dimensions. Before the final assembly, I make sure all the components are the correct size by placing them on the feeding station. The joinery for this one is nice and simple. We're using the correct pocket hole system, and I use 2 screws per joint with glue, which makes a nice strong joint. If you're new to pocket hole joinery, I highly recommend using several clamps to hold the components together while you drive the screws in. Pocket hole screws can want to push the components away from each other when driving them in, so using the clamps just keeps everything secure while you attach the pieces together. I use a block plane to chamfer around the bottom of the feet to help reduce tear out, and then I also use the block plane to put a chamfer around the top of the feeding station. Before attaching the top to the base, I just go over any sharp edges using the sanding pad with some 120 grit sandpaper. I decided to add Rupert's name on the front of the feeding station because I thought this would look cool and it's a nice touch. So I used a stencil to draw out some letters, and then I used my palm router to carefully cut the letters out. I also give the name plaque the same treatment as I did the feet and the top of the feeding station, giving it a chamfer with a block plane and then some light sanding. I attached the base to the top using several pocket hole screws, and then I attached the name plaque using some CA glue and activator. For finish, I kept this really simple and I used some Danish oil, but you could also add a clear lacquer if you wanted, or some polyurethane at a later date. Here's the finished project, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that build. As you can see, it's turned out really nice. I'm happy with the writing. It's a nice cartoon effect. And the oak looks lovely with the old worldy oak, with the old worldy pine and the new PSC pine. And don't you just hate them stickers that they put on these things? Really annoying. If you like the video then guys, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. If you've got any questions, just ask away and I'll do my best to answer you. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do that through PayPal, Patreon and channel membership. See you next week guys. Bye.